What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mental Health Before Wealth podcast. And that name is going to make sense as soon as we talk about what we're talking about today. I'm going to be talking about my first sales job that I just got. I'm currently working at it. I'm going to talk about what I wish I would have done better, what I wish I wouldn't have done. And we're going to talk about a lot of things. What I wish I would have done better, why get a sales job, and why to get a sales job rather than an hourly job, right? So the thing that started this thing for me was this video. Why I wanted to make this video, because a lot of people are talking like there's so many. So this is a video of Mark Cuban. Let's watch it real quick. 6 months. And we're going to talk about the comments. So many negative people in the comments that are talking so much shit about Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is one of my people that I look up to. He's one of the persons that, I watch a lot because he motivates me and I like learning from him. And he's such a successful individual, right? And he likes basketball. I like basketball too. There's so many things that we have in common. I look up to him just because he became a millionaire when he was 35 or 32, 35, somewhere around there. And then a billionaire at 40 or something like that. But yeah, everyone is talking shit in these comments, right? So this is the reason I got a sales job, because of this video right here. And this is one of the reasons, not only reasons. One of the reasons I got into sales, because a lot of famous people, when you listen to them, or rich people, successful people, they all talk about sales job. That's where they started. And I see why they are successful now. But let's check this out real quick.
To make as much money as possible, all you have to start with is a phone and $500 in cash. What are you doing?
All right. So he got a question. Basically, if he starts with $500 and a phone, what is he going to be doing?
That is the best question I have ever been asked in my entire adult life. I am really, really, really good at sales. I'm going to find a sales job.
Now, the thing about sales jobs, people who are talking about, oh, I'm not really good at sales, I'm not really good at this, I'm not, I've never done it before. Why not? Go try it, right? I'll talk about it a little more in depth here, but when I got into it, I literally listened to this to a T, right?
Because I already know that if I'm on to my last $500 and all I have is a phone, I am going to get that job and I'm going to learn more about that industry than anybody on the planet. And I'm going to set a commission as high as I possibly can. And 3 months in, when I've demonstrated that I am the best salesperson in the history of that company, I'm going to walk into my boss's office and I'm going to tell him, you're either going to pay me this amount of money to keep me, or I'm going to start my own business selling this stuff. That is exactly what I would do.
Now, what he says, he's going to make a lot of money, just constantly working, right? And I see like what it is now. Like the job that I just got, I got into the solar industry, so I was selling solar, right? My first sale was $3,000 in a week, and not the total week. It was like in one day. On my third day, I believe it was my second or third day, I remember I got that sale. So basically what happened was I learned everything about that industry. I legit learned every single thing about solar. I learned about our incentives, our government incentives. Everyone always talks about how solar is a scam. I made sure it wasn't a scam. I was researching it. Because I kept getting interviews about solar. It was summertime, right? So I kept getting interviews about solar. I was working at a construction type job, and I was making decent money. Not enough money though, because I have foresight and I saw the future, and I kept seeing inflation go up, and everybody can't afford shit. I kept seeing all that. So I was like, nah, bro, like I need to go check out this sales thing. I need to try everything. I need to try. I'm 32 years old. I was 31 at the time, but I just had my birthday. But I'm getting to that age where I do it now, or it's harder. The more you grow up and grow older, it's harder to just make more money and try things and that have risks. And you got to keep trying in order to succeed. The way you succeed is you fail a million times, right? So if I failed a lot, then I'm gonna eventually get there. So I had my first sell job. I've been there for a month now. I learned everything about that industry, and I wasn't good at sales. When I talked to my family, I just try to get some feedback from them. I told them, I was like, hey, I'm thinking of getting a sales job because I need a I looked up, like I pulled up my calculator one day and I was like, how much money do I need to succeed in this life in order to be comfortable? And it was like $50 an hour was my hourly wage that I was supposed to make. I was making only like $20 an hour. And I was like, man, that's not enough money at all, 20 an hour. But with construction work, there's this thing called this thing that you get more money. There's a lot of benefits to it, I guess. The most you could have gotten was like $50 to $60 an hour, but you had to have overtime, and it was time and muscle, and it was time and it was hourly, right? So there's so much to it. But anyways, I got into the solar industry. I got a job, or I got the job there. I didn't do it quite like I should have done it. I'll get into that a little more, but let's talk about these comments real quick. Good luck, there's a door. What does this mean? Anyways, so there was some on here. It said this guy was really into it, like he was trying to defend him. Oh, the non-compete agreement. That doesn't matter. There's not a lot of workplaces that have the non-compete agreement. You could start your own business of everything. It doesn't matter. Don't try this. I got fired 2 weeks ago. So, okay, can you let me know more about it? So, I mean, he tried it. He got fired 2 weeks ago. It's not for everyone. When I started, we had about 8 guys, and now we have like 4, and I'm still part of it. I have a bunch of, well, not a bunch of sales. I have, at the moment, I have 3 that are official that they signed, and then I have one more that will sign if this one. This is a lot of things, but let's say I have about 4 to 5 sales, and then so our commission is 50%. So basically, we'll make from each of us will make $3,000 each sale, right? So from every sale that I've gotten, so basically, it's split between the setter of the appointment. I'm the setter, and then the closer. So the closer and the setter, they split the commission. The biggest one I've gotten was $4,000 from one sale. But yeah, like I said, I was looking up to make sure it wasn't a scam, because when I told my parents about it, my family, I'm 30 years old. I just told them, to get feedback, not to ask for permission. But it's still something that I wanted to talk to them about. I feel like, me and my parents, we have this thing where I have to please them. And I have this thing in my head that, they created me, and, they raised me. So I have this thing in my head where I'm like, I gotta like listen to them, or, but the thing about that was, when I was at the construction job, working 8 to 10 hours, I wasn't doing construction. I was holding a stop paddle. I was doing flagging. So basically, you hold a freaking stop sign, and you stand there for 8 to 10 to 12 to 17 hours. And I couldn't, like, no shame in working in that industry and in that job, but for me myself, I felt really stupid, or I felt like I could do more with my life. And that's just me. If you guys want to do that, that's fine. and stand there for hours. That's cool. Do it, whatever. But that wasn't for me, right? So, and I was making decent money, but like when I got that job, right before I got that job, I crashed my car, and right after getting fired from my last job, I got fired. It was a sales job too. So this was really hard going into the solar industry, thinking that I suck at sales because, of that place, right? But anyways, I crashed my car. It wasn't anything like weird. It was just some teenager rear-ended, or not rear-ended me. He straight up just hit my front side. I lost my car. I didn't have a car. I texted my friend because he was a flagger, and I heard it was a good job, and I heard it was good money, good benefits, right? So I ended up getting an interview, and my friend said I'd pretty much get hired, blah blah blah. My mom heard it. I told her immediately because the thing of pleasing her and making sure she thinks I'm doing good, right? She was ecstatic. She was like, "Let's go help you get a new car," and so she ended up picking me up same day of that I told her I got the interview. She helped me get a car, and so she's like, "That's a really good job, and you're gonna be so good there, right?" And I was like, I was happy too. So I was doing the flagging thing, right? And every day I was there while holding the paddle sign. I was on my phone. I was doing either my podcast, or I was doing, I was actually applying for sales jobs at the time, because I realized I wasn't gonna last there. Like I could have, but it's like I'm holding this stop sign. It doesn't. I don't know, bro. It's not for me. But yeah, and then like the workers there too. It's like you could tell everyone's like very negative. Not like my coworkers, but the upper management and everybody. They were like super negative and all this shit. So it's like, I need to get a job where I have people who think optimistically and all this stuff. Because when I was at the gym working there, everybody there was all optimistic, and there was no drama, there was no toxicity, all that stuff, right? Anyways, so I end up quitting my job as soon as I get this sales job, knowing that it's commission based, and if I don't get a sale, at least one sale, I'm done for. I literally pay for rent. By the way, my bed's on the floor over here, because I lowered my monthly costs, my living, my costs, all that. I lowered it before I started all this, because you know you gotta you gotta spend little and make a lot in order to you know multiply it and be productive with it, and do everything. But anyways, so I ended up quitting my job, and I had like what, like enough for rent for 1 month. Anyways, so I ended up getting into it after watching this video. I watched this video. I saw a bunch of comments, and it's uh yeah, you can tell he's never really been down. Just $500, LMAO. A lot of people like will diss rich people, and they're like, oh, they never been where I'm at, blah blah blah. They've been where you're at, and he talks about it a lot. He lost everything at like 28. He literally went broke, lost everything. But anyways, all these comments right here, they really, this would never work. You wouldn't have the infrastructure and connection. You have good luck starting a business to get establishments, companies. And then this guy talks about, not true at all. This is exactly what I did, selling windows and blah, 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 right? And he ended up making his own business. I don't listen to the comments or whatever, but say you've never been flat broke without saying it. Yes, he has. He didn't have $200 to open a bank account. Yes. Anyways, you have 6 months and $500, as much money as you can. And answer is get a job and threaten to quit after 3 months. Yes, it makes sense. But anyways, so yeah, I ended up quitting my job. I didn't have any money. I'm not saying to start it like this. If you are going to start a sales job, have a cushion of like at least $2,000 to $3,000, something like that. But if push comes to shove, then you end up, not having a job. Literally apply every single day to a sales job. As soon as you get that interview, literally tell them you want it, and you're gonna do everything in your power to get sales, and you're the best, and all this stuff. You're good at adapting. That's what I said. I was good at adapting. Blah blah blah. Right. I ended up getting my first sale, and the guy signed, and we closed them. I ended up, I was actually translating at the appointment because I know Spanish, and like Mark Cuban said, learn the whole industry. Literally more than anyone knows about that industry, or yeah, about solar. I learned everything I could about solar in like a week. I literally every day of the week I was watching a solar video. I was watching Taylor McCarthy. I was watching, if you're in your industry, of the famous people, Donald McDonald, whatever the heck his name is. I was watching all of them. So I was watching everybody in that industry. And so if you're in an industry, you're going to know someone else. Andy Elliott, Cars, Alex Hormonzi, Jim, right? You're going to learn everything about them in every industry. You're going to know every person in their individual category. So anyways, I ended up getting my first sale. Now I was like, okay, $3,000, cool. Now the second, I was like, I need to make more sales, or what's gonna happen? I'm not gonna be complacent. I'm not gonna just be like, oh, I gotta sell. Let me chill for a little bit, which I did for a little bit actually. So the thing about sales as well, like you can't be lazy. You end up being kind of like a business owner. You gotta treat it like your own business. I basically got my first sale, and I was like, hell yeah, like let's go chill, let's go relax, let's go drink, whatever, right? Let's go party, celebrate. And I did. I celebrated, and I was like, bet. I got one sale, and I was like, wait, what if that was a fluke? What if what if that was just luck? And I was like, shit. What if I can't make my second sale? What if I can't make more sales? So it's door to door. So I'm actually like going out there and knocking on doors. I start watching more videos every single day. Just watch videos. I started looking up day to day or door to door salesmen actually knocking on doors and stuff. And then I started watching closers. I'm not a closer, but I was like, oh, I wonder what it's like to close the deal. So I started watching closes. So that's what made my first sale. I knew all these things already of solar, and I started watching closers. So they needed a Spanish translator, and I speak Spanish, so I watched a Spanish close because they got me because I knew Spanish and I knew everything about solar. Because at the time we had 3 other people that knew Spanish, but I knew everything about it. So there was that connection with the Spanish speakers between me. We could build rapport based off of the fact, I could talk to them, and we got a lot of things in common. Be like, where are you from? Oh, Mexico. What part? And then we start talking, building rapport and building a connection with that individual, so we could build that trust and sell them the product and help them, show them value, and help them out, right? So anyways, that's why I got my first sale. Everyone on here is talking about how, oh, you can't, how to make money, get a job. I would have never figured that out. This one pisses me off. You have 6 months, $500, make as much money as you can, and your answer is get a job and threatening to quit after 3 months. It's like, this is not, sales jobs are not actual jobs. Like in a way, like commission based jobs, it's you work and you get what you put into it, right? Commission based jobs, like when you start making money off your voice, off what you're saying, you start making more. So like I said, I needed another sell, right? Because I was like, nah, like I got lucky. Like I need to get better at this. I need to learn everything more. I need to learn more. And so I ended up getting my second sell, like legit 2 days after I got that sell. And this is all in a month, right? So I'm on my second sell. I know their names. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, she needed a roof, and she wanted solar. She was really into it. But she had gotten rejected before by other people, but I don't know. I was like, why? And eventually I ended up getting her solar. event, apparently the last people who tried to sell to her, they weren't experienced. So I took advantage of that. And we ended up helping her. So I got the second sale. That's 2,500 for that one. So we're at 5,500 in a week or two. And then, so I was like, I need another sell. It's like, you got to keep going. The more sales you get, the more comfortable you start getting, the more, more cushion you start getting, and all that, right? So my third sell was with, over here, I can't even say it. Sorry. I'm trying to keep it professional and confidential for the names and addresses. But, the guy who I sold to, we ended up selling to him, and then that one was $4,000. So right now I'm at 3 plus 25 plus 4,000, so like $9,000, right? And then so if we did the math real quick, so we did the math real quick. Can y'all see this? Okay. I'm at 9,500, right? And then if the third one is not officially sold yet, but he signed everything, we're waiting on to make sure the house is good and the roof is good and everything. So if his roof gets done, we get another guy. So that's another 3,000, right? So anyways, 12,500, right? All in 1 month, legit a month. All this in a month that I did, almost $12,000 or $13,000. But I'm pretty sure like he's passed a lot of the test and the permits, and we've gotten a lot of stuff for him. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna sign him. So $12,000 in a month. Now, so let's keep that right here. 12,500, right? That's $12,000 in a month. In order to make that with my last job, right? So we're gonna divide this. Let's say, so I made 2050. Let's say best case scenario, I made $35, which is not always, right? 35.50, sure. So let's say I made $35.50. I would have had to work 352 hours last month. 352 hours. So I would have had to work 352 hours. 352 divided by 30. 11 days. Or I don't even know what the fuck math I'm doing there. But that's a month divided by the hours. I think, yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Let's just look at the math part, or the hours. 352 hours. Oh, I think it's whatever. We're done with this. But 352 hours to make $12,000, and I only made it in like 2 to 3 weeks. And after making that, I've been really just making YouTube videos. I'm kind of finding ways to expand my income, right? So I'm not just doing sales. I'm actually doing YouTube videos. Actually writing a book. I just bought a laptop. I've been working on it. I edit my videos on my laptop. I do all that stuff. I just bought a laptop because I feel like, if I get more sales, I eventually am going to be a closer. And then everybody uses a laptop in business. Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff, right? So what I wouldn't have done if, with getting into this industry, I wouldn't have just flat out quit my job. Like I said, save money before you get into it. If you want to get into it. And not everyone wants to be a salesman. Not everyone wants to, and then this guy's like, so basically he gets a job. No, because if he has only $500 and then to make as much money as possible, you can't do that hourly. You literally get limited from, with your time. I don't care if you're working legit like 17 hours a day. Like, you could be working Imagine working every day, 31 days, right? Let's say best case scenario, you work 31 days times, uh, what is it? 17 hours a day. Imagine working 17 hours a day, 527 hours. Let's say you multiply that by 2050. That's $10,000. And you'd have to work. And that's not minus the taxes and everything, right? Plus mine, I probably made the same amount. So 10,000. That's 500 hours though. Um, so $10,000, let's say minus like 2,500 of taxes. You would only be able to make $8,300 for the whole month. And then, let's minus rent. My rent right now is really cheap. Like I said, I'm really lowering my monthly cost. My rent's at 600 right now. And then, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's pretty good money, right? When you see it that way. But let's say I've gotten 5 sales, right? Let's say best case scenario, I got 2,500 per deal. I'm making $12,000, right? So based off of that, like, when you work hourly, you're really limited to what you could actually, like, your potential. Cause look, 5 sales, you could. So the way I see it is, every sale I get, and my commission is pretty high, by the way, it's 50%. But in one sale, I get $3,000, right? So let's say I do that in a week. Let's say I took a week just knocking on doors every single day, and I only get one person to close. That's still not bad. Like based off of the other job, and then every day I work like 3 hours to 5 hours. So imagine if I did 12-hour days every day, and I would get, it's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like sales jobs compared to hourly jobs. Like, let's say I get 5 sets a day because I'm an appointment setter. And let's say I work 7 days. That's 35. Let's say 20 of those close, or 10 of those close. 10 of those times 2,500. That's $25,000. Let's say all 35 close, right? 35. This is best case scenario, 2,500. The most you can make is like 4 to 5 to 6,000, right? But 35, let's say all of them close, that's $100,000 in a week. So almost 100,000. Sorry. So you guys see like the difference between sales jobs and then the phone thing, right? Where he's like, oh, if I had a phone, you could. If people don't want to buy at the moment, they're like, oh, let me think about it. I need to talk to my family. I need to really gather information about this. I need to research it, right? I had a guy that said the same thing to me. We really connected though. I ended up calling him 2-3 days after because he didn't want to sit with us. And I was like, I was on the phone with him for an hour, and I told him, I was like, hey man, I see this as a great opportunity for you. Our program, the net metering program, which is basically like the incentives for having solar. It's the net metering program is going to be ending in next year. And basically, like, he was getting taxed a lot from his income. So I was like, this could definitely benefit you greatly. You know how like rich people write off a lot of their taxes? That's exactly what you could do with the solar. And we're lowering your bill to a spot where we protect you from inflation, right? So inflation with solar with the electric companies is huge because, we just got approved for a 10% or 10 to 12% increase for 2025. So it just makes you see, like, it gives you leverage and it gives you value to people, right? When you're talking to them about all that. So I told him everything, and, I was like, I really connected with him, and I said way more things. I didn't lie to him at all, though. I want to be able to sleep at night. That was one thing that, my parents told me. They were like, man, you're not the best at sales. Don't do sales. Look, you couldn't even, keep your job at the gym. And, when I was working at the gym, it was like I didn't really care about it because I was looking for other stuff. I didn't see that as a place where I could make a lot of money. But anyways, I did lose that job, and I didn't try as much. I didn't learn everything about the industry. I didn't do like this video talks about. But if you listen to a lot of other people, Andrew Tate, he says he would have gotten a sales job. Um, I don't know who else. I forgot right now. I'm drawing a blank. But Mark Cuban's one of them too. There's so many people out there. They're like sales job, sales job, sales job. But yeah, I mean, if I could go back in time and change what I did, no, because when I quit my job, and it was kind of like the human mind. I don't know if just men, but I'm gonna say men right now because I'm a man, right? So our man instincts are like, we got to get a deal. Like, since I didn't have a job and that was my only thing, I was like, oh, I have to get a deal, or I'm screwed. I'm not gonna have money. My mom just bought me this car, and I didn't tell them only after I got my deal finished, and I was like, hey, I just quit my job, and blah blah blah. And I was scared because I have all these payments, right? I have insurance, car insurance, I have the car payment, I have rent, I have a son. It's harder when you have a son as well. So I was like, man, I really can't mess this up. So I literally, like, I was trying every single day, learning the industry, every single day, just learning, watching videos, practicing by myself, self-talk. Um, but one of the biggest things in sales that I've gotten out of, oh, you could actually see my subscriptions right here. Real Sales Dynamic, Taylor McCarthy, all that stuff, right? Real estate. Anyways, one of the biggest things that I got out of sales at the moment, as only being there for a month, really believe. If you don't have belief that you can help people, you're not gonna get a sell. That was the biggest one, the biggest thing. I actually believe that this brings people value. I actually believe that I'm not scamming people. If you wouldn't sell it to your mom or your family or your parents, pretend to sell something to your mom. And if you don't feel guilty after selling it to her in your mind, then, you're good because you could sell it to anyone. That was the biggest thing because I had a couple, we couldn't close one deal like 2 days ago, and I didn't have that belief. I was like, wait, are we scamming people? I was like, there was a part of the meeting where we met the client where I was like, damn, are we scamming him? Is my guy, the closer, just trying to get a bigger commission? And I was just thinking, and I was looking at the numbers. And then at the end of the day, I was like, oh, we weren't. And I was like, I believed it for a second. I was like, because the guy that we were trying to sell to, he was in financing. So, the solar stuff cost a lot. It's hard, you got to go door to door trying to sell $20,000 to $40,000 systems to people. And it's like, it sounds crazy, right? And it's like, damn, we're really scamming them. It's not a scam at all. Like, I truly believe it's not. We're helping people from inflation. We've gotten people as low as $119 a month. Even if it's $200 a month, they're still benefiting from it because they're not paying, like people in Miami right now, they're paying $600 or $700 a month. People in Arizona, people in everywhere where it's like super hot. They got to run the AC. They got to run multiple ACs. They got to, it depends on who's there. But yeah, that was one of my biggest things. I didn't have belief in myself in helping them. So I felt a little guilty. And I was like, and then at the end, I was like, nah, we were helping them. But yeah, belief is a big one. Confidence. If you lose belief, you're going to lose confidence. You're going to lose it all. When I started making more money, what happens is remember I said my podcast title, mental health, before wealth. Uh, if you don't have your mental health down to the T, you need to have your mental health superb. Like you have to have that stuff good. You got to be able to be, composure. You're gonna have to have composure, patience when you're out there. If you're doing what I'm doing, door to door, people are gonna slam the door on your face. People are gonna cuss you out. People are gonna try to fight you. But yeah, you gotta know your flaws before you go out there as well. If your flaws are drinking, if you're an alcoholic and you start making all this money, you're gonna drink more, right? If you talk to a lot of girls, you're gonna talk to more girls. And it's funny because like I don't talk to a lot of girls, but I do, I do talk to girls. And then so I realized when my money kept going up and whatnot, my first month, I was hitting up more girls, and these girls would reach out to me because they would see me, always out and, spending a lot of money, whatever. But they see you, and for some reason, I stopped hitting up girls. They started hitting me up, and I haven't hooked up with anyone or whatever. I don't, just sleep around anymore like I used to. But yeah, I mean, the girls just come out of nowhere, and I don't know. Especially with a sales job too, you're not scared of rejection anymore. That's another benefit from sales jobs. You're not scared of the no. You want to hear no. If you hear a no, then you try to kind of like a puzzle. You try to complete the puzzle and try to see why they're saying no and whatnot, right? And if not, you better yourself for the next situation. So it's the same thing when I'm out at the clubs. And I only gone once, by the way, to the club. I don't like going to the clubs. I don't like drinking. I don't like doing all that. But I'd rather be working, making money. But it's I started getting girls' numbers. I started getting their snaps. I have, I got like 10 girls' numbers in like a day, and I was pretty drunk. But even when I'm not drunk, I still go up to girls and ask them for their numbers now. But I'm not really like hitting them up. Like, anyways, it's just something about your flaws that get magnetized when you're getting a lot of money. That's why, you got to work on your stuff before you start getting rich, because eventually you're going to have to deal with it either way, right? Anyways, yeah, like this guy said, I read this one already. Being successful is not for everyone. You must make a commitment and discipline your mind and actions. There's no giving up. There's no easy way up or out. Success is not for a mind full of excuses whose only recurring actions are procrastination and self-pity. Yeah. So he's freaking, I'm gonna like that shit because he's on point with that. It's not for everyone. It's a lot of discipline. It's commitment. I literally committed to it by quitting my job, and I was like, I'm gonna make a sale. I'm gonna make 2 sales, 3 sales, and literally with 3 sales, I could chill for so long because my living cost is not expensive. But the more sales you get, the more comfortable you get, right? But yeah. But I have goals. I have a goal of how much money I want to make to start my business. I have a lot of stuff going on that I have. If he had to start over with $500, he'd be fucked. No, that's actually not true. If he had to start over with $500, that's actually more than what I started with. I started with I think I had a little check. It was like $200, and I used that money for gas and food, and I ended up, every day I would go out there, work. Finally got my deals. Now I'm on my third. If this third one goes down, the fourth one goes down because they have the same roofs, and the fourth one, he had a credit of 698. We need a 700. So as soon as he gets those 2 points up, he wants to try. But if we get the third guy's roof is the same as the other guys, so if he signs, the other guy signs. So that's 12.5. They're all, the third guy signed already. He signed for the loan, everything. So the 500 just sits there. The 500, I mean, you just manage it, right? So you got $500. You manage it as best as you can. You go into survival mode, which means you're not out drinking. You're not out doing anything. You're not buying fast food. You're cooking every day. You're eating as low as possible. You're not eating more than you're supposed to. You're not getting dessert. You're not eating sugar. You're not drinking out of that money. You're trying to make as much money as possible. It's basically every time you make a sell, the gap between the next sell between your next completed closed deal, that's you're unemployed between that gap, right? So let's say you make a sell. If you haven't made a sell between like a week, then you've been unemployed for the week. It's basically that mindset that you have to think about. Like right now, I'm unemployed because I need to go make the next sell, right? So you would get a job. I could have said that shit. A sales job. A sales job is different. Commission based, hourly based. You're trapped, and you become trapped into this whole routine, right? Into this cycle. It's not wrong to get an hourly job, but you could be making more with a sales job than a nurse is making or a doctor is making. You'd be close to what they're making. You could be making up to $100,000 to $200,000 a month. It's really like up to you. It's based off of your skills, based off of how you dress, based off of how clean you stay, how healthy you stay. They say the better you look, the more sales you make. And it's so true. I think I'm a good looking guy, but we have some guys in our team, dude, good looking guys. So, when women answer the door to them, they're more likely to listen to them. They're more likely to be like, oh, this is a handsome man. Let me listen to him. Right. But, yeah, there's a bunch of those. And then, but yeah, there's a lot of ways you could, do all that. He's a billionaire for a reason. Exactly. Andrew Tate said, if Michael Jordan taught me how to play basketball, I'm not going to be like, well, you weren't the best basketball player or something. You lost these many times in the finals. I wouldn't say that, right? You're going to listen to Michael Jordan. If he tells you to shoot like this, you're going to freaking arc your freaking arm like this every time, right? If he tells you to jump, you're going to jump. If he tells you to freaking bend over, I don't know about that one, but yeah, so if a billionaire tells you how to make money and everyone's on here just, he even sold us that is the best question he's been asked in the entire adult life. Proper salesman. Don't try this. Today, 99% people will ignore calls from strangers. 1% that answer will hang up after you telling them you have something to sell. That's true, right? It is true, but you gotta have you gotta have your strategy. You gotta have a strategy. There's ways for people to listen to you. If you bring people value, they're not gonna hang up on you. They're gonna want to listen to you. So you just gotta be smart. You gotta be a hustler in a good way, and all this stuff, right? His recommendation is basically what all the hustle bros online say you should do, except to start as an employee instead of self-employed. What about doing actual innovation or production? Yeah, so, right, everyone says this, but no one explains it to a T. That's why I'm doing this video. But, sales job over all this other stuff, production and all that. Let's see. Dude speaking so vague and delusional. And then 14 people liked it. Those are all the people that make excuses. Imagine being lucky enough to get Yahoo to pay you $4 billion. How is that lucky, bro, for a stupid streaming service? If it weren't for that, this guy would not be where he's at. Oh my God, bro. This is a hater and thinking he got lucky to sell a company that he built and thinking that, oh my God, that pisses me off. It's not luck if you keep doing it every single day and if you're consistent every day. If I made a really good YouTube video every single day and then people watch my one video that went viral and they're like, oh, he wouldn't have been where he's at if it wasn't for that viral video. It doesn't make sense. It's not luck, it's repetition. And if you keep doing it, you're eventually going to get a W. You're going to win. I'm not saying I'm about to sell something for billions of dollars, right? But if you are in that field and you keep going and you're actually like trying, you're consistent, discipline, all that stuff, doesn't make sense. What would you do during 6 months, MC blah, blah, in 3 months, Shark Tank? He can't even do a basic math and is already wrong. For that reason, I'm out. Anyways. Damn, I was really ready for some smart shit. Dude said get a job. It's not. So he looks like he's in construction right here. Or maybe it's just a hat. But it's literally, I mean, I tried it. I just made allegedly 12.5 if everything goes good. If not, I made 8,000 in less than a month. It was legit less than a month. Never gonna happen. Basically didn't answer the question. He literally answered it. He was buying time to think when he enunciated, this is the best question. Okay. I did exactly that with insurance. I cleared 60,000 in my first year with no experience. I said I won partnership 150 a year. K a year. He laughed. I left in 15 years. Damn, 15 years is too long. Anyways, they have never put up the numbers I did when I was there. I am now overseas killing it in international insurance as my own boss. Suck it. What's your company called? I want to know too. Anyways, 60,000. If you're making 60,000 a year with selling something, I mean, at least he's trying, but 15 years and then telling him after, I don't know about that one. Like, good shit for, you know, continuing to do you. But I feel like he was lazy in between those because, you know, in sales, it's how fast you want it and how fast you're going to get it. You're going to get it as fast as you want. You know, if you keep, like if I went to knock on 20 doors a day, I'm not going to get much, right? But if I knocked on 500 doors a day, let's just say outrageous number, I'm obviously going to get 5 or 10 deals a day, and it's crazy. Anyways, I'm tired of, you know, cool story, bro. You get a job in sales, and in 3 months, you suddenly become the best salesperson in snake oil. You could legit become. We just had a guy come in our team. He's getting legit 5 appointments a day. He already made, I believe, 16,000 in his first week. You know, it's people are gonna make excuses.
Have you ever made any like major mistakes, like any big issues where you're like, where you?
Shit, my bad. But yeah. Anyways, it's gonna be it. It's gonna be it for today. If you guys want to get into sales, do it. It's probably one of the best industries. It depends what industry you get into, of course. But I just made 12.5, and I had 2 deals that didn't make it. So I could have had 18,000. But again, I'm being lazy a little. And I have other stuff. I have this YouTube. I have, you know, the book that I'm making. I have a life. I have my son. I don't have unlimited time. But, I mean, I could be out there knocking on doors right now, right? Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Don't listen to the comments. Try it yourself. Don't listen to people. Do it yourself. Yeah. That's going to be it for today. If you guys fuck with the content, Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and follow the podcast. Go ahead and like. This will be on YouTube if you're on the podcast. This will be on Spotify if you're on the YouTube. So that's going to be it for today. I hope I made sense in everything. If you guys have questions, comments, I'm down to make videos to your questions. I'm down to answer everything. But yeah, that'll be it for today. See ya.